So my name is Barber Lomax, and I have the privilege of being head of EMEA. And what that means is that it's my job to essentially help drive the number of clients, the number of projects, the revenue each franchisee owns across Europe, Middle East and Africa. And a lot of what that role means is kind of drive communication and make sure that we're collaborating as a herd, as a group, to make sure we're delivering the best for our clients. I'd say the most fulfilling part of my role in working at ERA is you need to be a people person to work in ERA. No one joins ERA to be a lone wolf. And I really like solving people's problems. And luckily, there's a lot about what I do within my role is understand the challenges that franchisees, countries are facing, and it's my job to try plug the gap. I really love that we're paid out of the savings that we find for our clients. It's very much based on a success fee. And we're going through a lot of economic turmoil at the moment, which really means the demand for our services, where we can help our clients, is going to grow. And what excites me is building that strategy to make sure that we can deliver for the growing need from our clients. Collaboration is very much at the heart of what we do as a business. If you imagine, no one is a master of everything. And the idea of the way that we operate is that you can bring in colleagues, partners to work with you on certain projects and clients. And my job to help foster that collaboration is to really create a platform for franchisees to share best practice, but also for my colleagues and the support team to make sure that all franchisees are aware of all the new initiatives and training updates that we're offering to make sure that we are all well aligned and growing as a business. Communication is very much at the center of what I do, as you can probably imagine. We operate in over 50 countries globally, but when you look at just Europe, Middle East and Africa, every country is different. And it's really important for us to understand what are the strengths and the challenges for all those different countries, because there are lots of times where actually the challenges in one country are an opportunities for another, and it's my job to make sure they're married up together. And I do this through a mixture of coordinating country meetings that take place every month. It can be in person or online. I have one-to-one sessions regularly with a lot of the country heads. I also deliver sort of cross-border events, sort of mini regional meetings like the Iberian conference and the Nordic events and things like that. And then also later next year, we have our conference in Mallorca, where typically we'll get sort of 350, 400 people to Mallorca this year, where we're able to all make sure we're aligned as a business and growing in the right way. Data is, of course, of huge importance. If you imagine, the number of franchisees we have, the varied businesses that they have, because they look at different cost areas and different sectors and different clients, it's really important that we have a really good understanding of what best practice looks like. But it's also just as important to look beyond the data and have that conversation, which is why communication is really important. So we have lots of Power BI dashboards. I'm one of ERA's super users for Power BI to understand what's going on with the business, but it's also just as important to drill down and have that conversation with the people who know about those particular areas of the business. I think the business is really growing because of the economic uncertainty. This plays very neatly into what we do. There's a kind of a two prongs how we like to grow the business. Firstly, it's to help our franchisees, our existing franchisees, grow that asset value that they're building, help them build staff underneath to make sure they can deliver more, faster, more effectively, and look at that exit the other side. The other side is bringing in the new talent to plug the gaps of where we have. And my job is working very closely with the network development team to try and understand where there are gaps in the network to make sure that we can find the right people with the right attitude and drive to build a business to fill that gap. There's no way around it. There's quite a lot of travel in my role. A lot of the senior management sometimes joke that I'm using it as an excuse to get a good night's sleep, as I'm a fairly young father, or not a young father, but with at least a young child. Being able to use Teams is very valuable, but there's still nothing better in a people business to be in front of each other.